As always, hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. Rich is making another video about XRP today. We're going to talk about XRP now, and most of the time when people talk about $1,000 or $100 XRP, they never tell you, but I hope you're all having a fantastic day today wherever you are in this vast planet. What sort of funds will enable XRP to reach those levels? People immediately assume that it will take trillions of dollars for XRP to reach that point. Zach Rechtel, however, brought this to light. The inflows required for $100 and $1,000 XRP are listed below. $11 to $58 billion in net inflows are required for $100 XRP. $1,000 worth of XRP requires net inflows ranging from $118 to $589 billion. In both cases, I'm being cautious and applying basic math by using market cap multipliers of 100 and 500. Therefore, the market capitalization of XRP rises by 100 for every dollar that enters the cryptocurrency. And that's on the conservative side, as many would contend that each dollar invested in XRP's market capitalization causes it to rise by 300 to 500. You get at those price points in this way. I'm telling you that you don't need all these trillions of dollars to come in. Because of this, those who believe that XRP will never reach these price thresholds will soon be shown to be mistaken. Since Jim Cramer declared it a massive scam, XRP has increased tenfold. Additionally, it has increased tenfold since Forbes referred to XRP as a worthless asset and a zombie. It's similar to the mainstream media. You know, they are constantly trying to promote Bitcoin. If you pay attention to anything Jim Cramer says, you might anticipate the opposite outcome. However, Forbes was quickly shown to be mistaken when they wrote off XRP as a dead token. Those who believe that XRP is worthless will soon discover how fantastic it truly is. At the moment, this cryptocurrency offers the highest return on investment. Consider this. If XRP is as awful as everyone claims, how in the world did it manage to remain in the top 10 despite the ongoing Ripple v SEC lawsuit, spanning more than 4 years? This is due to the fact that XRP has been steadily growing over the past 4 years. For XRP to run on, Ripple just keeps growing and expanding, and soon XRP will also be discussed by the mainstream media. The table from Bivwise Asset Management shows how institutional cryptocurrency use is growing, with many different organizations actively participating. Here's one thing I want to mention. You can see how many people are here for tokenization by looking at all the names here. They got here thanks to the ETFs. It sparked their curiosity in cryptocurrency. Now, however, they are all here for tokenization, which is the true value. That will be the next major story in cryptocurrency. Right now, we are only awaiting regulations and clarity. You will no longer hear as much about ETFs after restrictions are put in place. Every day you'll see businesses discussing tokenizing various asset classes, because when it does, it will take off rapidly. It appears that Ripple plans to white label its technology for use by very big banks. Listen to this out. There has been a lot of news about the US market getting a little more regulatory certainty. Commenting on a query from the audience regarding US large banks entering the custody dispute. How is Ripple contacting some of those large institutions in the US specifically for custody and other products? And do you think they will actually start having talks online? Yes, that's a really good question. As everyone is aware, the US market was essentially in a tizzy until the election earlier this year. Additionally, banks are particularly intrigued because they understand that this is the way of the future for finance and that this technology has practical applications. Therefore, many of these extremely large banks have been considering and waiting for the sidelines to determine how to provide their clients with a digital asset custody solution. Additionally, they are finally taking action this year. In order to determine whether they want to build that technology internally or collaborate with outside vendors, many of them are actually going out there, conducting research, speaking with various companies and attempting to learn. Right now, there is a noticeable change in the way big banks collaborate with business experts to provide rather than building in-house, Big their own remedy. The reason for this is that banks do what businesses do. The banks will continue to outperform the competition if you have a plug-and-play, low-cost solution. They're still awaiting those regulations though, and at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, pay attention, she added. I want to draw attention to something now. I frequently discuss how the mainstream media perpetuates the myth about Bitcoin. Thus, billionaire and renowned investor Ray Dalio only suggested allocating 15% to Bitcoin. Listen to it. To danger ratio that you'd own. About 15% of your money would be in Bitcoin or gold. He is now discussing investing in Bitcoin. However, he stated in 2020 that it is too erratic to be a currency. 2021 I like gold, but I have some Bitcoin. 2023 is the alternative for the younger generations. By 2025, allocate a minimum of 15% of your assets to gold and Bitcoin. Who is paying him to promote that narrative now? Then, we've witnessed the same thing with Larry Fink. He immediately began rethinking his entire Bitcoin concept. Why? Because he was able to profit from it. And I believe that Ray Dalio is now promoting Bitcoin for the same reason. According to Eric Trump, everyone wants Bitcoin. Bitcoin is being purchased by everyone. 0.1 Bitcoin is going to be quite valuable. Back in May of this year, that is. Eric Trump now predicts that ETH will reach $8,000 in July. Eric Trump has already shifted his focus from Bitcoin to Ethereum, the new story. Ethereum will soon give way to the next great thing, which will be XRP. Bitcoin to $125,000. The entire world is watching Tether's billion-dollar play. The Bitcoin rally was sparked by Tether's $8 billion mining binge. The price target is $125K. The longer Tether is supported by nothing, the longer this can continue. Therefore, nothing is supporting the price of Bitcoin either. Consider what would happen if the Tether began to break. Suddenly, Bitcoin is taken along with it. That will come to pass. That, in my opinion, is the final goal as the new financial system begins to advance significantly. Additionally, the digital dollar will begin to shift the conversation away from Bitcoin and towards the digital dollar in the US. In the same manner that the EU currently promotes the digital euro, the UK will experience the same situation when they promote the digital pound. They will shift the focus of the conversation away from Bitcoin. See for yourself. It was already obvious to you. Breaking a $100 billion building in Osaka was just tokenized on the blockchain by Japan. XRP must supply ODL for immediate settlement if that value passes through smart contracts and settles on Ripple. Black Swan Capitalist is the source of that, and I concur with that. However, I do not believe that building is worth $100 billion. Not in the commercial real estate market of today. Who knows though? However, the tokenized real estate that will be added to the XRP ledger will likewise increase the value of XRP. This was a fantastic post and it comes from Tokenizer. Perhaps the only market where fathers are investing their children's education expenses in altcoins is cryptocurrency. College students using student loans to gamble on meme coins. An adult parent working to create a better future. Wealthy adults make investments. People are being taken advantage of by drug traffickers, crooks, con artists and thieves. Like a casino with insider odds, VCs treat it that way. Those who are genuinely researching the technology and practical applications, they are all praying for the same green candle despite all of these disparities. It's a united place that is both incredibly beautiful and terrifying. For the majority of working class people, cryptocurrency is an escape. I've always referred to it as the Matrix escape. As you're already aware, if what did you always learn? Were instructed to attend school, complete their education, enroll in college, graduate, get employment, work for 40 years and then retire. You take money from your job, invest it in cryptocurrency week after week and then you quit your job since you are now financially independent. There will never be another market like that one. Here we outperformed everyone. People are unaware of how revolutionary that is for individual investors. You have a chance at financial independence for the first time in history. According to my future self, I have been using cryptocurrency as a savings account for the past 8 years. Nothing at all can provide you with the profits I have thus far. In reality, it's a cheat code. I only have enough money in the bank to pay my payments each month, you know. The remainder is stored in a good cryptocurrency wallet and ledger. Because the bank will never make you wealthy, as I discovered many years ago. The bank offers you less than 1% of your checking account balance, you know. In terms of savings, I estimate it to be around 3/4 of 1%.